Hi, I'm Stock Investor Davis. Welcome to the channel. We're going to take a deeper look into Shopify stock today, focusing on its earnings per share and price to sales ratio, both currently and based on the guidance management has provided, which in this case will bring us to its period ending December 31st, 2023. Then we'll close by applying our findings to its current technical chart. Before we get started, please hit that like button and subscribe. There are chapters below if you want to skip ahead, and if you have any questions or notes, let me know in the comments. To begin, I have at the top Shopify's current earnings per share for the trailing 12 months, totaling negative 91 cents per share. The quarterly earnings making up that figure is in the top right. Once this was calculated, I pulled the company's past earnings and PE ratio results, finding a few items, mainly how this company has been profitable at times and other times not. The past year's quarterly earnings gives a perfect example of that. Based on the roughly 1 year period, it showed consistent profitability. We're able to establish a reasonable price to earnings range between 50 and 75 for when the company becomes profitable again. However, right now, due to its unprofitability, we're unable to create a fair value range based on this metric. Alternatively, we can imagine, as an example, that if the company were to have, say, for example, that $1 per share, then a fair value range for this company would look like $50 to $75. Moving to the company's current price to sales ratio, we have a similar setup to the previous slide with its current trailing 12 month sales at the top, totaling $6.65 billion, and the quarterly sales on the top right. We then pulled the company's current shares outstanding, which is 1.3 billion shares as of its last earnings report. We divide those two figures to arrive at its sales per share figure of $5.13. We'll come back to this figure shortly. Similar to the previous slide, I pulled the company's past sales and price to sales ratio results, finding a reasonable range of between 10 and 25 times sales over the last 5 years, with an average of about 19 times sales. Using our established range, we find a fair value range of between $51 and $128, resulting in a current price of $77 being a fair value and on the buyer side of fair. Let's now look at the forward guidance. Looking at management's guidance, they have provided the following projection for its fourth quarter ending December 31st, 2023, stating full year revenue grows in the mid-20s year over year. Gross margins improves 3 to 4% for the quarter year over year, and operating expenses down 1 to 3% quarter over quarter. All these statements, when combined, will equate to roughly $7 billion in revenue and negative $403 million in net income. Using the same shares outstanding, the 1.3 billion, will result in earnings per share of negative 31 cents. While this is a step in the right direction, because it's negative, we cannot provide a fair value range at this time. Pivoting to its price to sales ratio based on management's guidance, we can see the shaded portion is the same as the previous slide, so I'm going to focus on the unshaded portion. Using management's guidance, we can calculate a future projection for sales per share of $5.40. Then multiplying this forward guidance by our reasonable price to sales range of 10 to 25 times sales, resulting in a fair value for the stock price being between $54 and $135. The result being that the current price of $77 is at a fair value favoring the buyer side. As a summary of our price to sales calculations, at the top we see where it currently stands today, and on the bottom we have our forecast based on management's guidance for the year end 2023. There's no price to earnings comparison at this time due to the unprofitability. Finally, to wrap up it by looking at its technical chart, I've added some boxes to highlight areas where, to me, it makes sense to either add to the position in green or take profits in red. Otherwise, we have noted that the stock is in an uptrend since October 2022. This uptrend is between our fair value range and on the lower half. Let me know your opinions in the comments. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.